Greetings to all the viewers. Now we are going to conduct the session based on this agricultural strain. Agricultural system is going to be taken into the consideration. Here, every year, the farmers are cultivating the croplands and tillage will be conducted and crop tenure will be conducted later on. After harvesting that cropland, what happens? Crop residues will be there. Those are crop residues subjected to burning, that will be a severe environmental impact. So we are going to discuss in detail regarding that. How can we effectively utilize crop residues into the re-nutrient process? Re-nutrients are nothing but we are making them again nutrient material, right? That was the topic taken into the consideration. Crop residues to be re-nutrients incorporates humus, that is the organic matter which is very essential for the growth of the plants and give the what we can say nutrient content to the plant material. And here another caption is provided, tagline is there: ban burning rather than compost. So whatever crop residues we have to ban that burning process, rather we can compost that material effectively. This is the topic what we are going to discuss now. Trenching the trophic quotient of the soil, enhancing the nutrient quotient of that soil, because land is limited, right? Every time we are utilizing the same soil for getting the crop yield, and also different kind of grains will be cultivated on the same land. That's the reason why effective usage of that soil is the most important thing. That's the reason why here trenching the trophic quotient of the soil, we are going to enhance that nutrient quotient of the soil, so that ultimately that crop yielding will be enhanced from time to time. This is the way the caption was taken. Using crop residues to make the compost is a sustainable and environmental friendly alternative to the burning process, right? After the completion of harvesting process, most of the farmers will do burning of that residues, and later on cultivation will be possible. Later on again new crop growing is possible, especially in the paddy regions, paddy cultivating regions. Instead of that burning process, we have to think for the sustainable methodologies, environmental friendly usage is very important. That's the reason why crop residues must be effectively transformed into that compost material. That is the theme for the session, which causes air pollution. If burning is possible, the burning will give the worst impact, like air pollution is possible and health hazards also possible. The continuous burning may causes the what burning of nearby residential regions, and other health hazards also possible. When we are inhaling that kind of smoke, that may cause the lung kind of infections. So other health hazards, fire accidents may possible. There is a prone for, because especially in summer season in the open land, if that is the case, if this is the burning is the case, what happens? Continuously burning will be carried. That may cause fire accidents as well, right? And especially in the winter season. So crop harvesting is possible twice the year, right? In the winter season, winter harvesting season, if residue burning is possible, that smoke will not disappear. The diffusion is very difficult, being entire air is highly dense in nature. Diffusion is not that easy process. That will concentrate, that will focus on that particular region only, and that will give the haziness over there, and visibility will be reduced. Fog formation is possible, smoke formation is possible. So many kind of health hazards are the impact of this kind of air pollution and burning of those residues. Here is how to effectively convert crop residues into high quality compost. That is the topic. High quality compost can be manufactured. Whenever we are converting that waste which is generated by the cropland, can be utilized for the what fertilizer. So here two kind of benefits we will obtain. Disposal of waste effectively is possible, and second is what expending upon that fertilizer for the next crop will be minimized. This is the way dual way benefit we can avail by means of effective making of compost from these crop residues. right? So organic waste composting is required, that compost will be generated, that will add the nutrients to the soil, and the mineralization is possible, and other inorganic nutrients to be added from the external source, and that used to enhance the properties of the soil, so that crop intake will be enhanced, eventually crop yielding will be extended. This is the way we have to go for that effective manufacturing of this compost by means of crop residues. Here, the specific focus upon in situ composting, right? There is a possibility to take the entire crop residues to a particular region. There we have to manage the entire residues, and making into a compost is possible. That is taken in the larger scale or industrial scale preparation, and instead we can go for this alternative method called in situ composting. Wherever that crop residue is there itself we have to go for composting. So in situ composting involves converting crop residues directly into the compost on the field. Wherever those residues are present, there itself we are making into the compost, need not to go for the transportation, need not to go for the external efforts, right? This used to eliminate need to transport the materials to separate composting system, and separate space is not required. Wherever that crop residues are there itself we can go for the effective preparation of this compost. This method is cost effective. Ultimately, the transportation charges will be minimized, and new space required for this compost generation is also minimized, so that effective management of that residues are possible. Improve the soil health. Wherever the compost is generated, itself it will be mixed up with the soil, so that soil health, soil quality will be enhanced, minimizing the waste. Obviously, residues will be turned into a nutrient matter. That's the reason why waste generation will be mitigated. Here is how to prepare in situ compost effectively. We are going to discuss in detail about that concept. Select the right time. Where and at what time we have to go for this in situ composting process. That is the most important one, right? Begin in situ composting after the harvesting of the cropland. Okay, so being the entire agricultural map will be, agriculture calendar will be fragmented into 2 seasons, rarely 3 seasons also possible, but harvesting is possible in the winter time or else in the summer time, especially in the paddy, or else we can observe the same thing in wheat cropping also, right? So after that harvesting, after the crop harvesting, either it may be wheat crop or else paddy, before planning the next crop, at that time it is the right time for selecting that compost manufacturing. Ensure enough time. So in between these two crop tenures, we have to plan the composting time. Minimum we require 4 to 6 weeks. This time is required for effective composting of the waste into this nutrient matter, that is in specific re-nutrient matter. For decomposition before sowing. Before sowing a new crop tenure, before going to start the new crop tenure, we have to maintain this at least 4 to 6 weeks in order to convert that residue matter into the compost material, right? Here is the cycle provided. Recycling nutrients. So land is the ultimate source where we have to do the entire what a generation of food materials. That is only the valuable resource which is giving the all kind of food materials for us, right? So there we are going to plant the trees, and all kind of grain materials are sowing is possible, and the crops can be grown. Later on, along with these croplands, livestock is also there. Livestock, nothing but whatever animals we are depending upon, all comes under this livestock only. You may go with the fish. You may go with the what we can say, goat, sheep, and this kind of whatever meat extract we are getting. Entire things comes under this livestock only. Uh, all these are able to generate the waste even from the livestock and even from the cropland, there is a possibility to generate this manure. That manure again mixed up with this land so that its health quality will be enhanced. Whenever quality of that soil is more, so that its effective production of food materials will be enhanced, right? So that is the requirement, and there is a kind of recycling of nutrients are possible in this manner. So here is the quotation. It will rightly suited for the topic whatever discussing now. Land is limited. Everybody aware about that. We are not able to enhance or extend the land resources anymore, right? Land is limited, but not its legacy contribution. So though it is in limited quantity, but extracting the benefits from that land is not that extent limited. We are having so many kind of contributions, services which are provided by that valuable land. Soil is the matter from which we are getting all kind of requirements for the survival of all living organisms, right? So that this is the very important quotation we can say. Land is limited, but not its legacy contribution. So whatever survival of all the living organisms and the terrestrial region, the entire survival requires much more contribution by this superior soil only, right? Prepare the crop residues. So in this step by step process, how can we convert that crop residue into the compost? In that, first we have to select the right time where we have to start, right? Later on, we have to prepare the crop residues after the crop harvesting process. That shredding of residues are most important. Shredding is nothing but whatever residues we have, that should be made into small pieces, because whenever residues are present as such on the soil surface, what happens, microorganisms should work upon that, and its working is somewhat delayed process, being it is a kind of natural one. It is a slow process. Generally natural process are slow in nature, right? But when we are going to subject those residue into a shredding process, shredding is nothing but making into a small pieces, cutting into a small pieces, so that what happens, that shredding process or chopping process requires the materials like straws of that paddies, or else wheat straws we are taking, husk you may take, and the stalks can be taken over there, and all can be cut into small pieces. After shredding of this entire residues, this used to increase the surface region. So surface region is larger, which in turn used to increase the rate of decomposition. So decomposition is carried by means of microorganisms. Whatever tiny microorganisms are present on the soil surface, they work upon that small tiny pieces made by this shredding process, so that decomposition will be fastened. Compost generation, manure manufacturing will be somewhat higher in the rate, right? Spread the residues after making into the this small pieces of those crop residues, that to be distributed evenly. So the entire surface of the soil should be shredded, sorry, should be distributed with the shredded residues evenly. So we have to distribute in entire cropland evenly over the field. So we have to make into a uniform layer over the surface of the soil wherever crop residues are taken. So this is another alternative method. This is also said to be a kind of effective management of the crop residues. Conservation of tillage process. Conservation tillage is nothing but after the harvesting of the soil, we are not supposed to remove the residues from that soil grass retained by the soil surface only. At that instant only, what we are doing, this small plantation. So whatever any the next crop is going to be sown directly onto this cropland, whenever we are watering, slowly these plants are growing, and whatever the residues are present, slowly they get decomposed and mixed up with the soil, and that simultaneous process is possible. We are not supposed to waste the time, rather composting and sowing process, next to crop sowing process will be taken simultaneously. This is called what? Conservation tillage process. This is also taken into the consideration over here. And the next step in this process of after shredding of that crop residues, what we are doing, shredding process is clearly mentioned over here. You can clearly observe whatever residues we have, they are ground into a small pieces over there. Later on, we are distributing uniformly by means of mechanized techniques. So many techniques are available now, so that uniform distribution is required in order to distribute these residues the entire crop field. Later on, application of microbial cultures. This is the most important segment, we can say, because without microorganisms, whatever waste or crop waste we have, those may not be decomposed, those may not be converted into re-nutrients. The important segment in the entire process of making the crop residues into the manure or else the compost will be microbial bio inoculants. This is the very important segment, we can say, where microbial cultures to be introduced. Being natural process is there is a possibility of microorganisms by default on the soil surface, but they are not sufficient in the required time. That's the reason why external addition of microbial cultures are required, so that larger concentration of microbial cultures, bioinoculants, we can alternatively say, they used to decompose the entire crop residues, so that organic matter and humus generation will be in the larger extent within the time whatever we chosen. 4 to 10 weeks are required, right? In that time duration only, it is possible to convert the waste into the effective compost. So this is the most important segment. Again, let me stress over. And moisture management, this is also very important, because whenever we are making into a small pieces, and after that we are adding this kind of bioinoculants, so microbes also added over, but without moisture content, it is not possible to go for that kind of decomposition process. Certain extent of moisture is also the requirement within the soil, so that that moisture is required for the healthy growth of microorganisms, and microbial activities and metabolic activities will be optimally maintained. So that moisture content is very essential during this decomposition or else compost generation process. Water is added in the certain extent, and maintaining of moisture levels are very essential for microbial activity. Whatever micro decomposition process is required, that is possible in the presence of moisture only. So that we have to water that after harvesting, after shredding process, the distribution of that shredded pieces into the entire soil, the requirement is watering. After watering only, the process will be started, so that proper moisture levels ensure the effective decomposition. So proper moisture is very essential to decompose that waste into manure. Natural decomposition, right? The residues decompose naturally over the weeks to months, converting the material into the nutrient rich in the organic compost. Okay, so being it is the enzymatic action of microorganisms only, that's the reason why it may take a week of days or else months are also required. Though it requires some months, but need not to worry about that one, because whenever we are sowing the seeds into this manure, it immediately doesn't require the entire nutrient. Whatever fermentation is possible, whatever compost generation is possible, whatever manure generation is possible, slowly it will add it to the plants. Slowly it used to enhance that quality of that plant growth and the quality of that further crop yield as well. That's the reason why It is the slow process. Meanwhile, we can sow the seeds, we can take the further crop also. So both will take, both the process will be taken simultaneously. Whatever composting will be there, whatever next crop growing will be there, both are taken in simultaneous pathway. Need not to worry about that one. The compost formation is not finished. We have to wait for a few months further in order to go for the next crop growing in that particular soil. That is not the correct method. Both will take in the simultaneous manner. Whatever crop residues are subjected to the decomposition, that will be carried continuously, and in that soil only we can go for further crop growing. And this is the way whatever compost generated used to add the extra nutrients to the plant growth. It is a kind of fertilizer manufactured naturally. Benefits of in situ crop residue composting: improve the soil health. Soil health will be enhanced. Enriches the soil with organic matter. Obviously, whenever we are making the entire process, what happened, that used to give the nutrients to the soil, so that organic matter will be enhanced. Wherever organic matter on the soil will be larger, the quality of that soil will be greater. Obviously, the whatever crop sown into that will grow very healthy manner, and it used to show its output. That means the final after harvesting process, whatever we are getting, that is with high quality. That is relation between the organic matter of the soil with the quality of the crop yield, right? So, and the nutrient content is also elevated, enhancing the fertility and the structure of that soil as well. Reduces the pollution. Obviously, we are not going for that burning process. Rather, we can effectively utilize the waste into that compost. That's the reason why pollution can be mitigated. Prevents the air pollution caused by the residue burning. So this is also most important segment of the environment. Sustainable practice. It is the method what we are choosing is the sustainable method only, right? Promote the circular agricultural system, right? So we are taking the waste as a material in order to make the nutrients. That's the reason why. So waste management is possible effectively, and we are not burning anything, so that air pollution is not the cause of that. And neither one is nutrients need not to add from the external source, rather it will be generated in situ within the soil. We are restoring the nutrient content. That's the reason why this is said to be a circular agricultural system, by reusing the farm waste, right? So circular agricultural system is the righteous word in order to define this sustainable practice. Cost effective. Obviously, we are not purchasing the external fertilizers the maximum extent, and this waste is also not taken from one place to another, so it is the kind of cost effective process only, economic in nature. uh, Reduces the need for chemical fertilizers, right? So chemical fertilizer purchasing will be minimized. So within the soil, we are restoring the nutrient content by recycling the process. Reduce the dependency upon the synthetic inputs. Synthetic inputs usage will be certain extent minimized, not 100%. Certain extent will be minimized. This is the way benefits of the net zero living. So this is also the kind of environmental best practice only. We are by means of this crop residue into the manure or else compost will gives rise to the net zero food step only. It is the kind of net zero food step, right? So obviously by this practice we are repeating the same process for several times. It is the kind of quality elevation of the soil, and the soil will become healthy in nature. And from soil health management system, it is possible to reduce the input and cost if the quality of the soil is restored continuously, so that we need not to apply the external ingredients, need not to give the supplements from the external source, so that economically benefit is possible. Reduce the inputs and costs are possible. Lower the risk from the weather and the pest. So being soil is very strong and healthy in nature, need not to go for the attack from the external disease causing pests. Higher yields and productivity is obvious over there. Environmental benefits also there. Economic benefits we have. In addition, environmental benefits are added advantages by means of this waste residues into the compost. What it will be? Nutrients and microbial enhancements is possible. This is the requirement of the soil naturally. Soil and water retention is possible. Water restoration capacity of the soil enhanced. Soil health condition will be elevated. Soil structure improvement. Texture of the soil is also improved in this best practice method, whatever we choose in here. In situ crop residue composting is a valuable technique for promoting sustainable agriculture, reducing the environmental impact, and enhancing long-term soil productivity. Being soil is limited, and in the same soil we have to go for agricultural activities continuously, so that its quality maintenance is the most important criteria. Without maintaining the quality of the soil, if you are using continuously, at some instance, on one day, what happens, the soil will become barren, and it is not possible to go for any agricultural practices in the near future. That's the reason why whatever valuable soil or land we have, that to be taken into the precious resource, and the proper management and this kind of techniques to be implemented over there, so that righteous or else wise usage of that resource whatever we have is required, so the long term soil productivity will be retained. Croplands are barriers of the starvation. Starvation will be mitigated by means of these croplands only, right? They are giving the nutrient food for all kind of living organisms. They are the carriers of the healthy sustain, right? So they are the barriers of the starvation. They will stop the starvation process, right? Rather, they used to carry the healthy sustain. So croplands are giving all kind of nutrient food materials. That's the reason why they are the carriers of the healthy sustain. This is the righteous quotation, I feel. And by this, we are going to conclude the session. Hopefully, it is most important for the kind of people who are working upon the croplands, right? So everybody should aware about this one. Then only it is possible to get the initiation, or instead of burning of the crop residues, we will move towards the sustainable pathway. Hopefully it is most informative, and thank you for your valuable time to be here with this session. And the session is conducted by Dr. Kavita Kottireddy Kota. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.